Hi, my name is Genndy Tartakovsky, and I'm the director of Hotel Transylvania too. Well, it's good to be here, and basically we'll get right into it. The start of the movie probably was the thing that we changed the most in the process of creating the story. And we used to start out with this talk show host hosted by Queenie, like a Queen Latifah type character, and just to get us in to catch us up on what happened. And then that kind of wasn't working, didn't feel like the tone of the movie. And then really messed around a lot with what we were trying to say in the beginning. And initially, the whole idea of Jonathan and Mavis having a baby, I was really scared at first because it's like, doesn't it feel like maybe it should be a third movie? But then we got more and more comfortable with it, and we realized the beginning of the movie should be the wedding, because that's really when the movie really took off. So it's basically, how do we get to the wedding as fast as possible? Because we also used to have a thing in Drac's room where he's missing Mavis. I also had an idea that I wanted the movie to start with like the Great Wall of China, and there's Mavis and Jonathan, and he proposes, and then she calls Drac, who's playing poker with the guys, and then the movie kind of takes off from there. All probably could have worked, but then we kind of went with this. So a lot of different color schemes that we played around with for the wedding, and we wanted to make this nice magenta feeling, so it's nice and warm for her. And so also the Fifth Harmony song, you'll see it again in the end credits also.
Oh, yeah. Yo, how hot is my date?
So hot. Wow. How about how hot mine is?
You got a date?
Yeah.
I was really happy with the way the wedding turned out. This is one of my favorite pieces of animation too, and Murray.
Wedding starting.
All the animators did a really good job. This is a really difficult style to animate because of the specific posing and the energy, and I'm pretty demanding on silhouettes and the cartooniness of everything. But they do have a good time because it is challenging. So one of the biggest things we had to design was Mavis's dress. And, we definitely wanted it to be kind of gothic, but still kind of cool. And so Sana Hong designed this dress with cobwebs and this beautiful black gothic dress. And then I wanted the webbing to be kind of sparkly and really nice on her. So it's kind of magical. And this kind of moment is actually from my own wedding, when I remember my wife, we got married outside at nighttime. And when she stepped out, this giant ray of spotlight hit her. And I was like, ah! And so we kind of did the same thing for Mavis. And so, yeah, the structure of the opening of the movie, I really wanted it to feel almost montagey in a way. So this, like the first almost 10 minutes, I wanted to feel like it's, Dennis is growing and everything's going, moving onwards and onwards. So that's the addition of the music came later, because initially we had the guys singing, the zombie composers playing like classical. But then everybody kind of felt after some previous screenings that we wanted to amp up the energy. So we ended up putting the song over it. And here we get back into our original score.
Is it everything?
Again, like all these moments, we wanted to highlight them emotionally and visually, rather. And so we had all these great sparkles and play around with the lighting. And that's the fun thing about CG, because it is almost like live action where you can play around with lighting. I always try to find fun things to do.
So you're really okay with him not being a monster?
Human, monster, unicorn, as long as you're happy.
Thanks, Dad.
And you'll always be my moonlight, but now on wings of love you soar. Now that you're Johnny's girl, and kind of daddy's too. Your mom would be so happy, 'cause she always knew love is making room for all the best in you.
yeah, some of this lighting turned out really nice in here. And so that's Kelsey, and she was kind of just a secondary character that, we had her in one shot. But then later, the more we messed around with her, the more we liked her, and she ended up being in a bunch of shots in the movie.
Hey, Dad.
Oh, hey, guys. Todd, take a break.
We really tried to liven up the color. Like at first, I think in the first movie, it was feeling a little drab. And in this one, I wanted to make sure that we felt it's more rich, better color choices and lighting choices. And I feel like we were pretty successful with that as we go through it.
Well, if you don't want to.
And this animator, Jorge, is one of my favorites. And everything he does is very specific, like the way Drac looks in this scene. And also there's another scene where he is buckling. That's the whole kind of theory. The whole theory of animation that we do is, in the old days, in the Warner Brothers days, you could always tell, because they're hand drawings, what animator did which Bugs Bunny, And I feel like that's such a great part of animation that we like. The individuality of the artist comes through. And so the way we do Hotel T style, you could totally see that. You could see sometimes one animator, especially if they're really good, is distinct from another.
Remember what we played?
So this is a moment that we kind of added a little bit later on. Just something physical and fun for Mavis and Drac to do, and something also kind of vampire-y.
Where are you?
And this movie kind of started out in its inception completely different. We used to have, the main story used to be about a real estate guy, Quinston, who wanted to take over the hotel. But I'm very, animation is something that I love, and I'm super particular about it, and very, opinionated about it, I guess. And so I said, we have an amazing monster world. Why is our main villain a real estate agent? It seems like we could get a lot more creative. And luckily that story wasn't strong enough, and so we kind of organically came into this. It's real funny with Johnny here. We had him really quiet, louder, and we had to find the perfect level where people laugh. Like I think at the first test screening, nobody heard him because it was so quiet, so the joke didn't work. So it was just funny how, and the next screening, we raised him up a little bit, and all of a sudden we got all this great laughter. So it's really nice. This was animated by our animation supervisor, Alan Hawkins, who was one of the great animators from the first one, and he supervised the second movie.
Thousands of years of Dracula genes. Not gonna happen.
As long as the baby's healthy.
Of course. A healthy...
Again, playing around with lighting, trying to get the nice source light, so everything gets a little bit more interesting and complicated and fun.
Mommy's recipe.
Aww, thank you, Dad. Just like you made it when I was a kid. My favorite.
And so we ended up having a lot of animators on the movie, and it's difficult because you have some good and some bad. And one of the things we kind of struggled with a little bit is a Dracula's eye size. Like we wanted to push him because he's like a grandfather now, and we wanted to give him more emotional, bigger eyes. And I think it kind of threw Adam and Robert Smigel off a little bit when they first saw it, because you forget how pushed the animation was in the first movie if you haven't watched it recently. And so we went through a lot of back and forths about, how far we could push him. And at the end of the day, we made some eyes a little smaller, but generally we kept it forward. This is one of my also favorite parts, when Dracula is dancing around in drag. But again, we always try to look for any kind of visual and animation, physical humor that we could throw in. We do have a lot of dialogue in the movie. And so we try to, wherever there's an opportunity, you try to take the most of it. And as a rule, like when we review animation, we'll be in a room with like a few people, and a lot of the animators are watching from their own desks nowadays. But there's always a kind of a crowd. And so when we show the first scene and people don't laugh and I don't laugh, I know that there's something missing. So then we try to start drawing, and as soon as people start giggling, you kind of know that the joke's starting to work better.
Let's do this, boy, up! Check out what I got it! Bling!
Wow.
Great energy on Murray here. And then you'll see that the wolf pups are a lot more present than in the first movie. And so I thought, like, oh, that could be something that we missed in the first one because there's so many wolf pups. They're always all over the place. So we tried to, as much as we can in this one, to have them around, sitting and chewing on stuff.
Are we sure he's a vampire?
Even after we finished it, I was like, oh, every time we saw Wayne, we should have had like 6 kids hanging on him. So there's little things that are, you always think of maybe even later. So that's Megan Mullally as the voice of Linda, Johnny's mom, and Nick Offerman as Johnny's dad. They're amazing. They're actually married in real life, and they're so funny.
We have a present.
And their animation was also we had to figure out because they wanted to be opposites. So Nick Offerman's voice is very monotoned, and so literally we barely moved him in the whole movie. And then Linda, she's very condescending, and so we made her more animated. So there's a really nice contrast between the two of them.
It's part of the fun.
She made me baby-proof the whole hotel.
And Dennis's hair was another kind of challenging thing where initially the way we drew it, it was probably twice as big. And it was really funny that way. But then as we started posing him with Dracula, it just no way it was going to fit. So we ended up kind of keep scaling it down and down up until it's at a level where it could work.
Johnny, come quick!
If you still frame that run cycle on Johnny, you'll see that he's got kind of multiple legs for a few frames here and there.
Come on, honey.
And it's always fun to play around with that. This is one of my favorite beats with what we did with Drac's expressions. You can see how expressive and how big his eyes are, and it's really, you really feel it.
Well, maybe sometimes you say it.
And then when he's examining Dennis's mouth, we used to have it even bigger. And then we kind of realized, right in here, like they used to be twice as big as that. And we realized, well, maybe we kind of pushed it too far. So we backed it off a little bit.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
It was you!
In the lobby, so we tried to, one of the great things, so Mike Karinsky is our production designer, and talking about, I was really dissatisfied with the way the lobby looked in the first movie. It's such a big space, it's really hard to light. We talked about how to make it look better. And one of the things that Mike brought in was this idea that there's cool light and warm light, and the two things complemented each other really nice, and it made the lobby feel nicer.
Drac, I told the guys social media is the best way to promote the hotel, right, Clifton? So, Drac, I wanted to go through some...
Yeah, so we added a whole technical element to the lobby where we had electric monitors, like modern-day hotel rooms. So just the story idea of Johnny's effect, modern-day human effect on the hotel.
Maybe the magician.
And there's a lot of secondary jokes here, so if you get a chance to watch the movie, look in the background.
What was your card?
The 3 of spades?
Yeah, and Harry Three Eye and his assistant, Craig Kellman, designed him, who's one of our main designers. And I liked him so much, if you saw the movie, which you probably did, I put him to do the end credits because I thought they were so fun.
Tennis?
Okay, so what you want to do is lift the racket right on impact, so you get that nice
And
top.
Steve Buscemi, who does the voice of Wayne, is really great because I was a big Boardwalk Empire fan. And so he does this amazing, dark, dramatic stuff. But then when he does this comedy, he just nails it right away. And he's, just a sign of a great actor.
Just had it right back.
What? It's not doing it!
I got it. Dear Drac. Now you can text Cliff.
Yeah, we had a lot of, so there's a lot of background monsters, background humans. And it's always we could have had so many more jokes here, and we started with them, but then we kind of realized when is too much background humor too much? Or what is background humor too much? And so we started to back off and realize all our fun antics behind the characters are definitely taken away from the characters. And I did like this joke, and so we had to kind of find to balance it. But you can see the warm and the cool in the background here, and it really made the lobby just feel better. People go back and forth on this Bluetooth gag. Some people love it, some people hate it, and it's really funny. Because some screenings, it is so weird where sometimes an audience reacts to it, and sometimes it's kind of a groaner. But we committed to it, so there you go. Love it.
Oh, and were you drinking his blood?
No.
Just throwing it out there.
And so this dance coming up was animated by this kid, Tom, and he did a really great job. And I did a little break dancing when I was younger in my age, so I kind of acted out a little bit of dancing, but he really cartooned it so amazing. And that's the thing about this animation style is it really has an opportunity to have a great personal touch, and I definitely feel it's more artistic or humanistic than maybe some other types of animation types of computer animation because we really get in there. So this is his stuff right here. Yeah, and it really feels just right. And then I had the idea of the cape kind of, following along with him, which added another element. Like I really want the cape to be even more of a personality, but just we never got a chance to do it as much. But I had this whole idea for the cape that Dracula got a stain on it and he wants to get it dry cleaned, and Quasimodo is the dry cleaner. And so he wants to destroy the cape. So the cape is like a character and tries to run away from Quasimodo. But it doesn't, it had no place in this movie, so.
Him to miss that.
Dad, I love the wolf pups, but they're a little too rough for Dennis.
So we used to have a flashback to the wolf pups here to see how crazy they were. But then we ended up actually doing a whole birthday wolf pups sequence. So we took it out.
Show Papa Drac your monster video? Yeah!
Who's the coolest monster?
Katie!
And the thing here for Keiki and Quazzalupabum is we wanted it to feel like real puppets. So, we made all the dynamics and all the animation to feel exactly like there's a hand in the puppet, So there's no squash and stretch. It's all pretty real. And I think it turned out pretty good, especially this eating. And that's the funny thing about a computer. Like if I had to draw a puppet eating a cake, it would be extremely difficult. And then, the team just figure it out at Sony Pictures Imageworks, and they do such a great job at it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I
Mommy, I'm too old for lullaby.
Dennis's room, so we made this whole new wing into the hotel that kind of Dracula built for them. And you could see it's kind of like a combination of monster stuff and human stuff, where Mavis, really supporting the human element and gets them this human race car bed and the curtains and the big teddy bear and stuff. And the whole room, though, is monstery.
Suffer, scream in pain. You will never breathe again. Still.
So it's always important to, focus on the emotions, because at the heart, they're all kind of characters. So we have a lot of stuff happening at the hotel in the first movie. Almost the whole first movie took place inside the hotel. So we definitely wanted to get out. So initially this was set in the ballroom, and then we said, like, you know what, let's take it in the forest. Let's light it up real warmly and put it up in the forest. Designing all these special wolf pups was great because we kind of pushed and pulled the model that we had to make him fit all those expressions, to make the wolf pups more specific. And Winnie's played by Adam's daughter, and she's actually really funny, and it's fun to watch Adam and her record because he kind of gives her a read and she does it, and it's really fun to watch the dynamic between the two of them.
They're just playing Holy Rabies Limbo. I used to love that game.
Yeah, so this is where I thought was really good with Wayne, where the wolf pups are always all over him. But we should have done that through the whole movie. Like everywhere that he is, there's wolf pups on him. So this sequence kind of came out where, Mavis is a mom. And so we still wanted to have elements of her from the first movie and that she's young and playful. But when you're a mom, it was hard to balance that. So this was an idea where she's still experiencing all the fun of when she was not a mother. Just to have her, we kind of realized we didn't have Mavis do anything fun, and kind of initially in the story. And this is like the big tornado, almost like Tasmanian devil style of the wolf pups that we wanted to do. And we pushed that idea even further, like at the end fight. We did some great stuff with them as this big group.
Candy.
Look, your tooth came out.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, one of the difficult things when you're kind of introducing mythology to the characters like this, if you don't get a fang by the time you're 5, you're not a monster, is how many times we say it. So we used to say it like twice as many times. And when you watch it with an audience, you realize like, oh, they know this already. And you could sense that they're burnt out on it. So we would definitely back away from it a lot.
What don't you know?
Well, we've been talking.
It's one of the fun things about making movies versus TV shows in my career is that, on a TV show, like we make it, and then 6 months later, it's on TV, and you just get a rating, so you don't get any kind of human reaction. But with a movie, I get to sit with an audience and feel it. It's almost like a mob mentality. And when it's working, you could sense everybody is into it. And when it's not working, you could sense everybody's just kind of fidgeting and bored, especially like with kids. They start talking more and moving around. So it's really nice because I get to then, make little tweaks and adjustments and try to think about, well, why isn't this joke working? Why is this not flowing right?
Dad, it's not a fang. Dad, I don't know if it's...
Yeah, this is Jorge again doing some great animation. Really pushing Drac to different levels.
Hey, dude, man, I'm afraid to say anything. Hey, dude, man.
And later on, we have in this sequence where Frank tries on clothes, we used to have different jokes where he initially he sees the light on in the room and it's a candle, so he's afraid of fire. So he tries to blow it out, but he blows it out too hard, and this painting catches fire, and then the drape's catching fire. Meanwhile, Dracula's still in the bathroom, and he's trying to cover up. And it was really funny, but then we realized we have a fire joke later on, and we thought maybe I think it was Adam came up with the idea that he tries on Drac's clothes.
If you could just get some alone time.
Wait a minute. That's what Johnny wants too. Alone time with Mavis.
Have they even had a vacation since before they were married?
Yeah, and the way clothes fit and animate in this movie with this style of animation is a huge challenge for the cloth team. And basically, because the physics that we use are not real, right? So they're based on just cartoony animation, and we can move something as fast as we want it. But in the computer, clothes simulation is all built on reality and real physics. And so the two do not mesh well together. And we had that problem in the first movie. And in the second movie, they tried to design tools to help us out. But it's still a challenge. And I think whatever movie we do together next, I think we probably got to figure out, an easier system. Because they just go in there and they have to do so much more work than they probably need it.
Johnny.
Try to play around with the more natural lighting too in places where here, if it's kind of morning time, the candle lights are off and we see all this natural light coming into the hallway. It's nice. Like, I think the characters are lit so much better in nature. I don't know if you've ever done any photography, but you could always tell the pictures come out better in natural light than artificial light. And it's almost the same. I think the same could be said about movie lighting.
Place where I can really be myself. I haven't felt this alive since they invented stuffed crust pizza.
Well then, we've got some work to do.
Okay, so here's the plan. Maybe it's a good idea to take her to your hometown, but remember...
So here's another kind of example where sometimes the background could be distracting. And this is like one of those things that I always... not sure about, but then when we try it out with an audience, you see that it actually is okay and people get it. So we have all this information with Drac and Mavis, and they're in the foreground right, and in the back, Johnny is blowing spit bubbles with Dennis. And I'm a father of 3, and a lot of the animators have kids and stuff, and people we work with have kids. So there's little things that you always do with your kids that's fun to put into the movie. And little things, even the way like Mavis is holding Dennis was hard initially to kind of figure out where it's natural and and he's not like a baby, so
Telling maybe wavy stories
it's
every
a lot of
night
those
in
things
bed.
probably nobody ever thinks about, but for us, as we're posing him and making him look good, here's Drac eyes are really funny. It's a really funny pose.
Love you, Drac.
Yes, I love you too. Now remember the plan. Just keep her distracted and happy, but not too happy. Capiche?
Got it. Operation Just Keep Her Distracted and Happy, but not too happy. Capiche? Starts now. Cool?
Smiling on the outside.
Will you hug my backpack?
No.
Let's bed.
Ah, yes, we'll get to the bed. We all love the bed. But we're just gonna do one thing first.
Is it shorts weather where we're going?
Jeez, I hope not. My body isn't swimsuit ready yet.
Whatever. Where's Griffin?
They can have
This joke with his invisible girlfriend's really,
I'm gonna miss you so much.
really funny.
strong, honey.
And so we kind of made it, again, it was born as just one in one bit, and then we were able to kind of make it a runner and have it repeat throughout the movie.
Just let them play it out. Get it over with. Okay, you two lovebirds. Drink your champagne and let's get going.
Oh, yeah.
Great effects on the champagne. It's like little things like that that always amaze me because in 2D, we just kind of cheat our way through it. But here, it's like real bubbles and you know, and they really figured everything out. So here's Jorge again. Really funny.
You gotta cut those nails, man.
We just strap our kids down with duct tape.
What's he doing here?
And so Blob was, you know, the first time I read the script, I was surprised, like, wow, he's like, you know, part of the whole gang. And it took me back at first, but then as we started doing it, I was like, oh yeah, he's really funny and he's a really good addition to the to the gang. So we could mine a lot of humor from. When you got so many characters, you kind of want to, you know, not everybody can shine, especially when you try to focus in on the story between Drac and Dennis. But it seemed to work out okay. Maybe that's the thing that makes the movies fun, is it's just a big ensemble of really comedians, and it all comes together. This is one of the first sequences that we started to animate and try to figure out how Dennis is going to move.
Always shares.
Wow. We may need more than a week.
Hey, you know who could fix the kid in a snap? Vlad.
Yeah, so the introduction of Vlad here and in the wedding, we went back and forth on. Initially, even in the beginning, we thought about, well, maybe we should do like a flashback of Drac and his dad, so when Vlad comes in later, it doesn't throw you off. But then we kind of settled on them just kind of talking about him and keeping him a mystery.
Come on, everybody likes that song.
We're not everybody. We're scary monsters, remember?
Hey, what are you putting in?
It's an audiobook. Bigfoot's life story. He reads it himself.
Chapter 1. Wow, this is gonna be so amazing.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna be so happy, but not too happy.
Huh?
What?
I want to see everything you did growing up.
So here, we used to have it be a lot less sunsetty, and then kind of realized, like, maybe there's too much question if Mavis in the sun, so then we kind of changed the color scheme and made it a lot stronger sunset, and, you know, the sun's almost gone.
So all over it.
I know, he's the best.
And this is also really funny about keep learning about comedy and telling jokes and rhythm and what's funny. And initially here for the blobs getting hit, in the storyboard, I think we get them hit 3 times. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that kind of works. And then I was like, you know, let's keep on going. And then you start doing it, and all of a sudden, people start laughing. Where when he got hit 3 times, nobody was laughing. And so it's just finding that magic, you know. People say it's the magic of 3s, but sometimes it's not. So now as they go out into the world has changed. And we have a lot of lot of versions of these ideas. There used to be a lighthouse where Frank and Drac used to go, and now it becomes like a a windmill turbine engine, like in Palm Springs. So a lot of variations and stuff, and here's some great, another little chance for physical animation. And we made the park still kind of dark, but a lot brighter in color to sell that contrast between everybody.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on... Frankenstein!
Hey.
So if you notice, if you've ever been on Facebook, everybody, when it takes selfies and stuff, has these ducky lips. Ducky lips. And so when we first saw that, everybody cracked up laughing because it just captured the caricature of that moment where everybody does this really funny duck face with their lips. And so it's one of my favorite parts. So art direction wise, in the forest, it's real complicated. And that's kind of the thing about having CGs. You in this type of animation is we want to make a great backdrop for our characters. So the backgrounds can never be too complicated because then we want the read to be really simple. So in the forest, we have all these, we have hundreds of trees, but what we did is we added a lot of atmosphere. And so now there's this stepping of silhouettes going in back. So it's almost like a 2D approach, but in CG. And if you watch this movie in 3D, you feel the depth without having all the complicated and complex details and shapes behind them.
Your mommy says it's a good fat, whatever the heaven that means.
Listen, I'm not gonna set monsters back again just to make your grandkid like vampires. Anyway, there's nothing to kill here. It's all been...
Aw.
Yeah, same thing here. It's kind of like having Wayne, and this is like his big moment, playing around with the animation, and we did the acting a couple of different ways until finally everybody laughs. And that's what you really judge it on. I judge it on the room where we watch it and have everybody's reactions. Michelle Murdaka, who's our producer, I kind of look to her sometimes to see if she laughs at something, because she has a more pure reaction to it versus me, where I'm looking at how it's animated, all the technical stuff. So at first, that dog we designed to be a little bit more real, but it just didn't fit into the cartooniness of everybody else. So at the last minute, we added these kind of more big white eyes for them.
My frisbee!
Yeah, and funny, as simple as this is, we have like 4 variations of this shot where what's the best angle to do that, his blobby line in.
What do you want to show me first?
It sounds silly now looking at it, but at the time it's like, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to figure that out?
That place.
And so everything for Mavis in the human world is amazing. And so no matter the mundaneness of it all, it's exciting for her. So one of the important things here for me was the sweaty hot dog. And as a kid, like, we grew up not having a lot of money, so I would go to 7-Eleven and I would eat their hot dogs for dinner. And I just remember the humidity of the hot box. And so I demanded it that the guys put in my sweaty hot box for the hot dog. And there it is, so.
Johnny, look! They're making a TV show about this place and we're the stars!
Also, sound design-wise, we wanted to make sure we got that perfect, perfect slurpy sound when the things were filled up. And Jeff Rebay, who's our sound designer, took definitely a couple of stabs at it because, again, you hear something and it's those kind of little subtleties I feel like sell the joke, and everybody knows what that's. If you've ever had a Slurpee, you know what that sound is. So we wanted to make it just right. So this is another opportunity to have some really fun animation with Mummy's chant. If you freeze frame that animation, there's about 8 to 10 multiple hands for some of the frames. but you don't feel it. You just feel like he's moving fast.
Conjure up the biggest sandstorm you've ever seen. Hit it.
And like for Murray's incantations, it was the same thing. You know, like we try passive animation, nobody really laughs, and then we'll try another pass, and then finally like we'll do some sketching and figure out some funny rhythms and posing, and then all of a sudden the whole room laughs. And that's really what you're looking for. You're looking for that honest reaction. And Keegan-Michael Key, who does Murray, he was amazing. It's funny because I just started watching Key and Peele, and it's really funny. And then, we hired him to do the voice, and he couldn't be the nicest guy, a nicer guy, and just really gets comedy, gets the joke. And that's the thing about directing. Like, we've got the biggest collection of talented comedians, right? Probably in a movie. And it's so easy to direct them because they're funny, and they can, they do this thing where they say the line and then they hear that it's not funny yet, and without me having to say anything, they'll correct it themselves, and they'll do it, and all of a sudden the whole room erupts in laughter. And that's the thing, is they know what's funny, and I guess that kind of makes sense, because that's what makes a great comedian. They're just funny.
Of course, I rock these bikes. May I, little dude?
So this was again great for animation. Just see Johnny out of control, and then Mavis kicks some serious butt.
I think I scratched it.
My turn.
Maybe I told
Yeah, and Selena, who does the voice of Mavis, she loves this character, and she's so sincere about everything that she does. No matter if she's got to read some stupid line or whatever, she really embraces it. And I think that's what sincerity is really one of the most important things in storytelling, in animation or live action. If people don't believe it, then it's fake, so we try to do our best, and the voice readings are so important. So we really had a hard time making her read. It was a difficult sequence. And it was one of those things where we kind of, we boarded this sequence, and it looks, very similar. But then once we get in and layout, and James Williams, who's our layout supervisor, we'll go in there and I'll say, yeah, let's do a, 360 camera moves and stuff. And that's the nice thing, is you really feel how cool that is, because all the other camera work is really downplayed. So we really try to look for that rhythm in the camera work where, sometimes it's just really straightforward for the most part, because then when you do have an action sequence, then you can go crazy, and the whole thing doesn't, and now you have that nice juxtaposition versus sometimes the camera guys get a little crazy and you're doing 360 on talking and then 360 on action, and then the whole thing feels like it's at one level.
Chocolate cereal. Are you kidding me?
It's okay, Drac. It's because they love us.
Yeah, masters of what's going on.
Oh, yeah, you should embrace.
And so these two jokes coming up, they've been all over the place in the movie. They used to be in the beginning with the intro of kind of how the monsters have infiltrated the human world. And then they were out of the movie. Then they were back in. And then now they basically ended up in here.
Bigfoot, look here! Noch einmal, Bigfoot! Hast du Liebe?
Oh no! Oh no! It's Mavis!
You gotta answer it.
You're pushing too hard. Lighter!
All right!
Demesevic, wake up!
Oh boy, he's out cold!
I got this.
Dad, what took so long?
What? Nothing, maybe. We're all great here at the hotel, just doing...
Drac on the phone is really fun because I wanted him to be like, he doesn't know what he's doing with the phone. So it's always his eye or his mouth, and he's always moving it around. And it really helped emphasize his, like this stuff. Helped emphasize the way he feels and that he's, almost getting caught. And David Spade's so funny. And he just kind of goes off. He's so good in the recording sessions, like with this Dennis flying around. He's just, goofing, and he would do it over and over again. And it's always been a real pleasure to work with everybody.
Sunglasses man voice. Static! Oh, the signal is bad!
Mavis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still... All right. I guess he's having fun.
Of course he is.
Yeah, that was the difficult part story-wise, is how to show Mavis have fun, but not too much fun, and how to make it uncomfortable with her, but still entertaining to watch. So it's complicated. Here we used to have a little scene of where Drac uses his X-ray vision type and looks inside Dennis to see his skull and that the teeth were not coming out. So that's Robert Smigel doing his best Peter Lorre type impression.
Yeah, this is gonna be good, Denisovich. Scary stuff, okay? It's in you. We just gotta concentrate on the scary.
Papa Drac, do you miss Grandma?
Miss Grandma? Oh, sure I do. I miss her every day. She was my zing. Why do you ask?
I don't know.
Do you miss anybody?
I miss Mommy and Daddy.
And who else? You miss that Winnie? The pup who tackles you and tries to lick you all the time?
Yeah, but we're just friends.
Oh, no.
That's the thing. It's like we're all cooks, right? When you're making these movies, and we're all making, let's say, chicken soup. And so sometimes I go, well, here's my ingredients that makes a great soup. And then you get people go, well, here's my ingredients, and I think there should be some beef in here, and I think there should be some chives or anchovies. And you're like, well, anchovies don't belong in this soup. And then later you're like, oh, maybe it could work. And so it's this big process that is very collaborative.
The vampire summer camp I went to as a kid.
What's it, Camp Vamp?
No.
So for Camp Vamp, initially, like the initial idea of it sometimes was hard to read, and then we realized, oh, we need this big, scary introduction of it to sell it more. So we added these shots to establish the mood of it, and then we get into it's like a silly camp. And so Dana, played by Dana Carvey, also was one of those characters that we went back and forth on a lot. Like initially, his read was the character was much more kind of goofier and almost like a Gomer Pyle type, Well, gosh, hi, Dracula, more of that type of thing. But then I think Adam thought it was too cartoony and not working it, so we really downplayed him. And the initial animation on him was a little bit goofier too, which I liked because I feel like we're all, this is a big cartoony movie. But I think Adam and Robert envisioned him a much more downplayed. So we really toned down the animation a lot.
He's a late fanger. That's why we came here. Can you show us some of the drills, like where they catch the mice?
And so, yeah, in the sequence, we had a lot more also of different activities. So we had, like they're avoiding crossbows, but they're like Nerf things. So more vampire things, like the stuff that we added. But the sequence started to get too big, and we realized pacing-wise, it needed to be, short and sweet.
It's right there. What's the matter with you?
Hokey pokey.
Ah, there it is, Denisovich, where Papa learned to fly.
Ooh, I want to fly with Papa.
And it's really funny because, this tower is huge, but for some shots, to give it that real great feeling of scale and height, we actually just built it on top of itself 3 times, so you get that sense. And that's the one great thing about animation is you can do these cheats and nobody knows, and it just feels right. So yeah, Linda's really, a great vehicle for her, the sequence, for all her really funny, condescending lines.
So cool. Wow.
We used to have a close-up on all the pictures so you could really appreciate all the poses of Johnny in Little League and getting noogies from his brother and the braces on her sister. So you could see Nick Offerman is just frozen, or Dad is just frozen. But it helps with everything else. I mean, that's the thing is, as much as we move the things, you have to know when to hold things. And sometimes in animation, because if you can imagine you're an animator coming in to work, and sometimes you have like only, 10 seconds in the movie that you're going to animate. You're going to make those 10 seconds the best you've ever done. But that works for your reel, but maybe doesn't work with the movie. So it's really watching the control of it, especially for this type of animation where a lot of people love to just go crazy with it, but the scene isn't crazy. And so it's knowing when the control of it is really important. So I'm the police of the style.
Kids get picked on a little, but it toughens them up.
And Craig Kelman designed Paul the werewolf, which is really, really funny.
Yes, I was telling Mavis about the
Craig has a knack for humor in his character designs. They're not just very individual characters. They're also you could sense their personality right off the bat. And they're just really funny.
Vampires will be friends forever through the centuries together, even in the brightest sun.
A nice little, pantomime moment with everybody enjoying themselves and Drac just frozen. Again, it's that nice control of movement and not movement. And all these kids are based on 3 designs, and then we push and pull them to create this library of children.
We're going.
What?
And so one of the things from the first movie, our old boss, Bob Osher, would say, this movie can't be dark. It can't be dark because it can't be scary. And so we started making skies that are really bright at night to kind of cheat that it's not dark out. And in this sequence, we did the same thing where we really pushed the brightness of the sky. And you still buy it, and it's nice because it's really cartoony. And again, if you look at 2D cartoons, they do that a lot.
Maybe the kid isn't supposed to fly.
Quiet. This is how they learn. You throw them and they figure it out.
This is, I think, also one of the first sequences we started to work on. And it was ended up being the big preview trailer where he throws Dennis off.
I can't watch this.
Please don't. Here we go!
He's still not flying.
He will.
It's nice to, I think it's good and bad for the animators because you get this nice long scenes with no cutting. And if you watch movies nowadays, that's very rare, especially in animated movies. It's almost like a cut a second sometimes. And I love to have, bigger scenes without cutting. And it's, again, a great juxtaposition to go from that nice long scene into all this really quick cutting. It just makes everything seem sharper and tighter, and you get to really appreciate the timing of it all. And that's what I look for when I direct. It's just like a musician, when they're looking for the ups and downs in music and the rhythm. I try to do the same thing, especially if there's sequences with not dialogue and you're trying to actually create a rhythm from scratch.
Is child endangerment.
Should we go down and help him?
Nope. I told him this was nuts. He's on his own.
We have to call the boy's mother.
No, that ain't happening. His mother's already nutsy cuckoo.
I have to follow protocol.
You will not follow protocol.
I'm a vampire. I can't be hypnotized.
Right.
Now, please, don't make me call the police.
No one's calling nobody.
Stop down the road! Stop down the road! Swimming's not helping!
Are we bad guys, Papa Drac?
Bad? No, you're the best kid in the world. We didn't start the fire. It was the tower. That's a very unsafe tower. You're lucky we don't call the authorities.
What amazes me about some of the animators is they'll go from, some are kind of devoted to animated movies, and other ones work on Men in Black and Spider-Man. And then they come in and do this cartoony stuff, and it's really crazy that they can jump back and forth.
Sorry about all that stuff. I guess they thought you'd like it.
Why do I feel so weird?
And so the people dancing is a little note. In layout, we just, we block in the characters and there's not a lot of animation. But the layout artist kind of animated these dance cycles. And we all laughed so hard when we first saw him that I was like, I don't think we need to animate that anymore. Let's keep it as is. And so that ended up surviving through the whole, through the movie.
Life and curious about everything. If Dennis grows up to be just like you, I'll be the luckiest dad in the world.
I love you, Johnny Stein. You know what?
And here we didn't, instead of doing a bright sky, we actually did go black behind them because it's on the outside world. So we kind of felt like it's not as magical. But we did this great lens effect where we blurred everything, and on the close-ups, everything is just almost like blurred lights.
Oh, dude,
Huh?
Wait, is that Dennis?
No. Is it? No. It's just hard to see, but just deleted it, so it's gone.
So it's nice to make these kind of, make it more kind of cinematic and have use the camera to help you out with the read.
What? It's Mavis. I'm not answering it.
Come on, Drac, you have to.
Just working on the foam was hard because sometimes it looks like shaving cream, sometimes it looks too wet, and so the effects department have to really work hard on the properties. I don't even know how they do it, but they just change the properties, the zeros and the ones to make it all right.
Some wailing banshees checking in. Quiet, you banshees.
Yeah, it's always fun to play with Drac's perspective when he was in the phone. You can see up his nostril, which is real fun.
Wait a minute. Is that the mother?
Hold on. Stop it again.
I am coming back to the hotel right now, and you better be there, or I swear, Dad.
And so coming up, we have the big rascal race, and it's always like all these action bits usually start out much longer, and then we start diluting them to be what the essence of the scenes are, and work on the pacing. And here's another great example of that art direction I was talking about earlier, where we really missed out the background, so it's a clear read for all the characters to read.
We really meant to call you sooner.
And this always, in all the previous screenings that we did, it got, some really great laughs. And it's one of those things where we make it long, people keep laughing, then we make it longer, and people keep laughing, and then you got to know the right time or to just cut it off. And sometimes if you think about it, you're really putting yourself out there, because if you have this long scene and it's uncomfortably long, and imagine an audience not laughing, because then you're like, oh, well, that was a big mistake. So that's kind of helps with the previous screenings to get the initial reaction from an audience.
So 2 seats in coach.
No!
No.
Yes.
So yes, a lot of fun animation here we got to do, and again, juxtaposition from loud and quiet, big music, big effects, crazy waves, and then just them driving on the scooter.
You have to go now, when we finally have no traffic. You're killing me, Blobby.
And the 4 streams of Blob, I never thought it would make it all the way through, but there it is.
I still have some cloud on me. Gotta do a selfie.
Johnny, not now.
Okay.
And so this sequence never used to have them blowing up Blobby. But then, Adam wanted to keep pushing it further and make it funnier and funnier. And so he came up with this idea. And I thought, that could be really fun to do. And technically it's always challenging, but we kind of find a way to make it work with some cheats here and there and just having the fun. Really fun too with sound design here. You could, have the 10 variations of farting balloon that you can create. Honk, I like that honk that came out. So that's the thing is, I think it's when the movie's firing at all cylinders, it's, the animators are having fun, the sound effects guys have something to play around with. And everybody's doing the best that they, at their abilities.
Now this is
So to create the skinny mummy, we actually had to remodel him and make a brand new mummy for these few shots.
go.
Also, one of the funnest things that we get to do is Mark Mothersbaugh, who does the music for the movie, we record the orchestra in London. And so we get to fly to London, stay there for about a week, and have this 93-piece orchestra record this music live. And it's really, I loved it in the first movie, and this one was also great. Just to, we kind of forget how amazing live music is. And to sit with them and have these amazing musicians just, get the score. It's the first time they see it. And they just read it, and they start playing it, because they're that great. They're really good musicians, and it's incredible to watch it all develop. Here we did some really interesting lighting choices where we went in early morning. And so the sun is just peeking out. And so we wanted the mood to be a little somber, but still cheat in some of the light. So I was really happy with the lighting here. You could see like they're kind of dark on light and she's dark on in the shadow.
He wasn't safe around other monsters. Now I don't even feel like he's safe around you.
But I was just...
What was it you said? Human? Monster? Unicorn? That it didn't matter?
Well, I just know his life would...
And same thing where we go from this big cutty action sequence to something more subdued, and we really freeze the camera. And sometimes doing it, because we're doing, usually sequence by sequence, and, if you have too many dialogue scenes, you're kind of like, there's nothing happening in this movie, because you're always in with a microscope on whatever you're working on. But then when you watch as a whole, you're like, oh yeah, I'm so glad we controlled it here. And this is one of my also favorite stuff that we played around with, the lighting and the weather. And we basically have it rain outside, but you could see the shadow of the rain inside. It's kind of like, they used to do that a lot in black and white movies and like film noir. And it just gave a great mood to it. And we made it really silent too. So this little part felt really nice to me. It felt really real.
I can do it. I'm a bat.
And we always try to think about silhouette value. So like when we see Dennis, we try to burn out the background behind him so he stands out.
Let me help you down from there. Are you getting excited about your big party?
I guess.
And them in this really soft light as she's trying to bring more hope in. The lighting kind of supports that. And that's the thing. I mean, it's nothing that anybody would really, really recognize. But subconsciously, you should definitely feel it, where the lighting supports the emotional thing that we're trying to do in the story.
It's just grown-up stuff.
Okay, but what about Papa Drac? He's gonna be here all alone.
Papa Drac has to stay here to run the hotel, but he'll visit us, and we'll visit
And like
him.
little particles in the air and stuff. It's all for great effect, I think. We used to, Bluetooth used to make an appearance again here, where she used to say, and I'll even get you Bluetooth, and he would come back in, but I feel like Bluetooth, the Bluetooth joke is good a one-time only. John Lovitz does the voice of the Phantom singing. And he was really funny, and he had to do it a number of times because we're trying to get it to be real but funny and dramatic but still funny, so it get the right tone.
Why do you want to leave? This place is out of control. I don't want to leave.
So that's my two daughters playing the two cousins,
Cakey.
and then Robert Smigel's son to play Troy, the oldest cousin.
Family together. Mavis, do you have any cousins or thingies in your family?
No, it's just been me and Dad.
Oh, I never did ask how you lost your mom.
Oh, she was killed by angry humans.
Oh.
Awkward! But, there is my Grandpa Vlad.
And so we had to design the dining room, and we still keep it gothic, and we have the fires, so the intensity of the story is kind of heating up, and same with us as we try to complement those ideas. So the introduction of Vlad went through a number of variations of, it was at a different part in the story, and it used to be much more, like 3 times as long, where we have this huge dialogue sequence between him, and actually Drac and Frank went to get him. But then it became much simpler. So, talking about Mel Brooks is, he's a comedy hero of mine. When I grew up on his films, really shaped my comedic sensibilities. Young Frankenstein, High Anxiety, Blazing Saddles, History of the World Part 1. I watched those movies every time they were on. And, I grew up before cable, so when you watched it, when those movies came on, you always watched it. There wasn't as many choices. Anyways, so he came in, and he was 88 when he first started recording for us, and I wasn't sure how energetic he was going to be, But he's, he's real short, and he walked into the booth, and he was just on fire. Really funny, smart, witty. He got everything we were doing. He was quick. So it was it was really fun. And his design was designed by Craig Kelman, and it's basically, we kind of started from Drac, and we wanted to make him crusty and old-fashioned, so Craig drew this really veiny, really older version of Drac.
Lovely. Sort of like a last hurrah before Dennis gets to be with normal people.
I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, the appearance as zombies, same thing. Did a couple of variations on this walk, and then when we finally, that version came on, everybody started to laugh, and so you know that it's working.
You're lucky we don't call the authorities. Let's go, my hero, because I'm Batman.
Yeah, so the Lola animation style, is really based on silhouette value and really strong posing, and it never feels naturalistic. It always feels like a character, the way characters react, the way their expressions. And sometimes the hardest things to do are the things that are most simple and mundane, like somebody just standing there. How do you make it cartoony? And so one of the things we were dealing with through the movie is to make sure it's not scary, right? So these cronies who, before they talk or act, are really kind of scary looking. I mean, cool, but kind of scary. So we wanted to go over the top with the voice recording. So Rob Riggle, who did the voice, is literally yelling the whole time. And then they're just so over the top, they become silly. So it kind of takes the steam out. Because, yeah, initially the end battle sequence, everybody was afraid that it was too intense, as just in storyboards. And I said, no, look, it's going to be really funny. There'll be really expressive, cartoony expressions. And it'll be really fun. And so nobody believed me initially, but then when they started to see the animation come in, they realized what we were doing.
I am a vampire.
Sorry. I am Count Jonathan.
And Andy Samberg also is just so funny and nailing the joke, always knowing that there's a better version. So directing them is so easy.
Drac, this is Brandon, a.k.a. Cakey. We got him for Dennis.
Hey, man.
Nauseated to meet you.
When does this happen? I got a book.
Another little jokes in the background to notice there, where the skeleton eats the cupcake and it just falls right through him.
Oh, please, still has to make a dramatic...
And we first visualized Vlad as somebody really scary. And again, tonally, like he was going to have a real serious voice and be really scary. But we realized, that's not really the tone of the movie. Everything's kind of jokey. And so once we cast Mel, we knew exactly what that was going to be. And it was going to take the kind of the scary sting out of him. But at the same time, we wanted him to be kind of imposing. So we made sure we gave him the size that he's still really imposing and scary, even though what he says and the way he sounds is really funny.
Actually, I'm technically Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein, he's the doctor.
Would love to hear more. Call my people.
So let me introduce...
Yeah, I love our close-ups on Vlad because the texturing on him is really great. He's got all those little warts and stuff, and it's something where now it's an advantage in 3D, in CG, because in 2D it would be so hard to do and keep all the kind of texture in his face consistent, where here it's obviously perfect.
Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool?
What's that thing on your head? Looks like my grandmother's...
So it's funny, the previous screenings, the boobies line always gets a laugh, right? All the kids are laughing at the word boobies. And then later on the comments, all the parents are like, I'm not sure if the boobies line is appropriate, but of course all the kids love it. So you kind of, to us, I think kids win.
I repeat, let me see those fangs.
Yeah, and one of the rules for Vlad is you do want, even though we have a lot of snappy animation, you do want all the characters to animate in their own unique way. I mean, that's always the goal. Sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. But for Vlad, the rule was he cannot move fast. So we made sure that he was always kind of flowing. And it's really funny because sometimes you could really see he's more slowed down than than the other characters. And then other times, I would even say like, it's too fast. We got to slow it down, and we slow it down, and we slow it down, and it almost like never gets too slow. But if you really, as a whole, you see that he moves a lot slower than the other characters. Like we want him to be very elegant, and every movement and gesture is elaborate. So this is another challenging bit, the sacrifice of Keiki. And, played really scary in the boards. We got a lot of notes on it. People are afraid. And then to kind of take the steam off of it, the edge off of it a little bit, we had this idea to take the Keiki theme and then make it demented and kind of weird, And so, because initially we had really scary, like just normal score music, but then we made this demented sound, and people liked it, and they felt it was less intense. But I always kind of think about maybe it got even more intense because it's so weird sounding. But yeah, I've been away from it for a little while, and it seems like it'll be all right.
This isn't working for me.
Scary, huh, Denisovich? You feeling anything? Any change?
Is Keiki okay?
Yeah, really pushing the colors all to red here, and all this animation was super hard to do because you have this one character that's built to be a puppet, and then the next day I go, yeah, I want him to morph into this giant beast with muscles and contorting and stuff, and then that's the amazing part is the animators don't look at it like, oh my god, I can't believe he's making us do this. They're like, oh, okay, this will be a great challenge, and let's find a way to make it work. Like, yeah, this scene, and then the fur works on the muscles, and it becomes a whole different character. But they just, because it's one shot or a couple shots, they managed to make it work.
I'm out of here. None of these parents.
So it really feels like you're just manipulating the model and you're really drawing it. And I feel like it feels different than other movies because of it. Real happy with the lighting here. Carl Hurst was our visual effects supervisor. His natural sensibilities are also very cinematic and more naturalistic, the way light really works, the way a camera really works. And so we find this nice compromise between the way our opinions are about it. Because for me, it's silhouette value. It's the lighting to enhance the emotional parts of the story, to tell the story with lighting. And so this was really nice because it's really downplayed from all the red that we just came from.
And you can't change him, Dad.
Dennis, where are you going?
Away.
But it's not safe out here by ourselves. I know a place where we can hide. Follow me.
And to set up the ending fight was really a challenge because I knew that we were going to do a lot of quick action, cartoony gags, and so we needed also. But the story is like it's at its climax, so you want it intense. So we knew we wanted to go red, like a big kind of red nighttime forest, and at the same time, I was really worried about it's got to read, everything's got to read. It's going to be so quick. I'm nervous about it, and so we started to figure out how to make this red forest work, using the same sensibility as we used in the camp and other sequences to kind of make it simple and stepping. And we pushed that idea even further. And so through working on this movie, I was also developing Popeye. And I had all these ideas. We did that test that I'm sure people have seen, or if you haven't seen it, Google Popeye CG test. And everything that I wanted to do in Popeye, and then, so basically, we ended up not doing Popeye for whatever reason. And then, but I had all these ideas for what I wanted to do with the Popeye animation and the fighting. And so as we started to get into this sequence, I thought, well, we were going to do all this funny fighting. Let's do it in this movie. So when you're watching the fight, it's actually just kind of a lot of the ideas that we were going to do for Popeye. The funny face, the slow motion on the funny drawing of the face. And so also the ending it was all about not being too scary. So all the stuff we did with Bella, we wanted to make sure that it still had to be threatening, right, as a story point, from a story point of view, but it can't be scary for kids or too intense. I mean, I feel like kids can handle a lot more intensity, but this is for a wide audience, so it's safer than sorry. So anyways, for all this stuff, we made sure we pushed all the expressions, and it's really crazy and cartoony, and the music is kind of less threatening and more just kind of, making it move along. But I was really happy with all this animation because all the expressions are really extreme and cartoony and funny.
Human hugging hotel to shreds!
You can't!
Really? Why not?
Keepers.
Keepers why?
Keepers will make Papa Drac sad.
Oh, sad!
And it's, having to direct Rob Riggle to go, oh, sad, but yell it. It was, he kind of always looked at me in a funny way, but then he delivered great. So now you can see the transition of the background starting to go more and more red from each scene. And then, one of my favorite cartoons is Ralphie Phillips, this Chuck Jones cartoon from Warner Brothers. And a lot of the fight principles, especially the way Dennis is posed, we follow through where there's these really strong silhouettes. So now it goes on full red.
What was that?
And really, we worked really hard on this sequence, especially the lighters, to make everything read. I mean, it's really, it looks like it's not that complex, but it really was. So you can see a lot of funny poses. And within each sound effect, there's also a cartoony sound effect of like a plate crash or a car crash, something to enhance it into. It's all about tone, so you want to set up the right tone for the jokes that you're trying to tell and the story you're trying to tell. And so we gave Dennis a green transformation. Like the scene with all these guys coming in, all the cronies, was hard to get read. So again, just trying to make it dark over light as much as possible.
Oh, this'll be fun.
So now it's full on, and just really the animators, they did such a great job here. And this also sequence was kind of coming up last in the way we were doing the movie. And so this was all done really fast. And here's what I was talking about earlier about the wolf pups. Really, it's the first. We never did anything like this in the first movie, where they act like there's a giant wave that happens behind them, and it takes over the crony. And of course, Kelsey makes a comeback.
I didn't do that.
And that's, of course, Adam Sandler doing the voice of the Gremlin Lady. So what we did was we kind of designed the background's kind of red. The characters have some cool colors on them. So it's almost the same principle as we did in the lobby to make it work better. And really, any crazy, stupid idea that I had, they just go for it. That's the amazing thing about... Before I started in the CG feature business, I would hear horror stories of everybody saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. But they always say yes, so... And this big fight scene coming up was done by Tom Davis. He's the same guy who did the Dracula dancing scene, and he ended up being one of our best animators, I thought. And it's all the scenes were about really trying to figure out the readability of everything.
Fly away.
Papa Drac, I'm a vampire.
Make sure you watch this movie on the big screen because it feels a lot better. And so now you see we're coming out of this intensity, and we switch the colors to more warmer, more kind of like a grayed out purple type feel to it. So, and it's all these theories they're nothing new. You know, they've been doing them since the color was invented in cinema.
We're going to visit you here every holiday.
Well, that's fine.
And Kelsey, I think she's gonna have her own movie one day. Same thing here with Bella. You know, we had to make sure that it wasn't too scary, but still keep the intensity. And that's always kind of the trick from doing, you know, whatever family or kids entertainment, is that you want them to feel, but at the same time they can't be deathly scared. And this little Bella was really funny. And then, you know, like with this scene, we used to have it as a wide shot, and then, you know, we never got any laughs by the wolf pups licking him. And then I thought, oh well, maybe they're just not really feeling the wetness and the tongues and everything. So then we made it a close up, and all of a sudden we started to get laughs.
Mine came out years ago. Look.
And so with in the first movie, we had a great ending number with Dracula rapping. And in this one, we decided to do kind of you know, using the Fifth Harmony song again to bookend the beginning of the movie and just do funny gags. And this went through a lot of variations where it used to be Murray singing a song, but it was just too long and didn't really work. So we wanted a quick ending, so you just kind of felt the energy still going. Same thing, like, you know, 5 or 6 variations of the Johnny dance until finally everybody starts laughing at it. And they're doing an old school shimmy. And then there's Invisible Man's girlfriend. So just kind of to bookend that runner, that he's got a fake girlfriend, but then he actually meets the invisible girl.
Let me hear you sing.
I didn't do that.
And finishing up with the 2D end credits like we did in the first movie. And I did the storyboard, and then Craig Hillman did all the layouts, and Rough Draft Korea did the animation. And it's the same director-animator that works with me since Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack. And we still kind of keep in touch, and, you know, they do some great stuff. So at the last minute, we were able to put this together. And it's fun, you know. I as much as I enjoy working in CG and all the amazing positive things and details and things you can do with it, there's still something about 2D that's very charming and appealing, and I think maybe it's just that it's really handcrafted, and it's just somebody's personal touch that you're seeing. And I feel like, you know, I know nobody's really doing 2D in America as far as features go, but I feel that one day it'll make a comeback. Anyways, thanks for hearing me babble through the movie, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will be back soon, hopefully. All right, thank you.